everybody together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. Welcome everyone to today's daily class of Srimad Bhagavatam with His Holiness Chandramauli Swami, and we are going to start on today's verse. So I'll just share my screen.
Raj,
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
yeah, one rule we have is we never cut the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra off until it finishes.
Okay,
It's a strict rule.
okay, Maharaj.
Always
Shall
know
I?
to play it, play. No, you get now you know anyway. So anyway, before two. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Atmajaya Sutagaram Vasudravina Bandhusu Rajye Chavikale Nityam Virudam Mamatam Jaho. Translation. Maharaj Parikshit, as a result of his wholehearted attraction for Lord Krishna, was able to give up all deep-rooted affection for his personal body, his wife, his children, his palace, his animals like horses and elephants, his treasury house, his friends and relatives, and his undisputed kingdom. To become liberated means to become free from dehatma buddhi, the illusionary attachment for personal bodily coverings and everything connected with the body, namely wife, children, and other entanglements. One selects a wife for bodily comforts, and the result is children. For wife and children, one requires a dwelling place, and as such, a residential house is also necessary. Animals like horses, elephants, cows, and dogs are all household animals, and a householder has to keep them as household paraphernalia. In modern civilization, the horses and elephants have been replaced by cars and conveyances with considerable horsepower. To maintain all the household affairs, one has to increase the bank balance and be careful about the treasury house. Don't do anything with the text, just leave it as it is. To maintain all the household affairs, one has to increase the bank balance and be careful about the treasury house. In order to display the opulence of material assets, one has to keep good relations with friends and relatives, as well as become very careful about maintaining the status quo. This is called material civilization of material attachment. Devotion to Lord Krishna means negation of all material attachments as detailed above. By the grace of Lord Krishna, Maharaj Parikshit was awarded all material amenities and an undisputed kingdom in which to enjoy the undisputed position of a king. But by the grace of the Lord, he was able to give up all the connections with material attachments. That is the position of a pure devotee. Maharaj Parikshit, due to his natural affection for Lord Krishna as a devotee of the Lord, was always executing his royal duties on behalf of the Lord, and as a responsible king of the world, he was always careful to see that the influence of the Kali Yuga would not enter his kingdom. A devotee of the Lord never thinks of household paraphernalia as his own, but surrenders everything to the service of the Lord. Thereby, move it up. Thereby, the living entities under the devotee's care get the opportunity for God realization by the management of a devotee master. Attachment for household paraphernalia and for the Lord Krishna go poorly together. One attachment is the path of darkness, and the other attachment is the path of light. Where there is light, there is no darkness, and where there is darkness, there is no light. But an expert devotee can turn everything to the path of light by an attitude of service to the Lord. The best example here is the Pandavas. Maharaj Yudhisthira and the householders like him can turn everything to light by dovetailing so-called material assets in the service of the Lord. But one who is not trained or is unable to turn everything to the service of the Lord, near Bande Krishna, Sambande, must give up all material connections before he can be fit to hear and chant the glories of the Lord. In other words, one who has seriously heard Srimad Bhagavatam for even one day, like Maharaj Parikshit, from a fit personality like Sukadev Goswami, may be able to lose all affinity for material things. There is no utility simply in imitating Maharaj Parikshit and hearing Bhagavatam from a professional man, even for 700 years. To take Srimad Bhagavatam as a means of maintaining family expenditure is the grossest type of namaparad, offense at the lotus feet of the Lord. Sarvi subad kriya swayam atma pramadaha omagyan timidandasya gana jana salakaya chaksurin meditam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha Sri Chaitanya Maho Bistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Dadati Swam Padantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhutananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaura Bhaktivindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anchakalpatarubhishcha kripasindhuve bhajavtitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namaho namaha. Keep it on the purport. Yeah, that's good. Right there, it's fine. So we come to this material world and we make a project of collecting so many things so we can find some satisfaction, some happiness, some control. But it's all an anomaly because we don't belong in the material world. We belong in the spiritual world. We take on a material body because somehow or other we decided to leave the spiritual world and come to try to find happiness in this temporary place. And so wife, husband, children, money, bank balance, and you can see here palace, treasuries, horses, animals, ministers, the list goes on and on and on, what people collect and accumulate and surround themselves with in the material world to give them some satisfaction, some happiness, some importance in life, all of these things. But this is all a shadow of the real happiness, because when we're with Krishna, everything is perfect. And there is unlimited happiness, unlimited knowledge, and eternal life. So all of these things that we collect in this material world or surround ourselves with is simply a substitute for our lack of relationship with Krishna. It's a poor substitute. Because the nature of the soul is to be happy. And so trying to be happiness in the material world means to act in such a way as that one surrounds themselves with various types of material amenities, material things, in order to find some satisfaction, happiness, some illusionary sense of permanence, which is not. So the whole material world is a phantasmagoria. It's a dream. It's an illusion. It's a shadow reflection of the reality. But since we're here and we're already so much engrossed in it already, and we still think that there's some benefit or some value in it, then we can use it in the service of the Lord. So using it in the service of the Lord requires intelligence. Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhi is mentioned. Yukta Vairagya Uchtate is the entire verse. And in that verse it says, real renunciation is not simply to give up. Yunjatam Yayatma. It's near Krishna Bande. Near Bande Krishna Sambandha Yukta Vairagya Uchtate. This is spoken by Rupa Goswami, where he talks about what is actual renunciation. To give things up that can be used in the service of the Lord is partial renunciation. Real renunciation is to see everything in relationship to the Lord and see everything as being the property of the Lord, and to use one's facilities, abilities, position in the material world to take these items and connect them with Krishna through the process of devotional service. We eat for Krishna, we sing for Krishna. We maintain our family as a service to Krishna. We go to work to get some money so we can maintain our family and find some importance. It should be done also as a service to Krishna. Krishna emphasizes that in the Bhagavad Gita. Yat karosi, yaranasi, yat jahosi dadasi, yat tapasi tu kontaya, tat kurusham mararpanam. All that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer and give away, as well as all activities all austerities you perform, should be done as an offering to me. So here's the verse that Krishna explains that, hey, just take whatever you have, and even if you want to do something outside of what is norm, still, you want to perform some austerities, do it for me. And then one is connected again to the spiritual process, and one is connected through Krishna through the activities of offering the items that Krishna gives us in service to him. But then Prabhupada says, even if one is not so adept in that, then they can become adept by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. If they hear Srimad Bhagavatam and learn the philosophy of Bhagavatam, at least to a certain degree, not fully, Bhagavatam cannot be learned even in one lifetime or 10 lifetimes fully, but one can get an indication of what Bhagavatam is. Bhagavatam is the glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his different incarnations. So if one gets a slight understanding of his relationship with the Lord through the knowledge given in Srimad Bhagavatam, then he can develop some expertise or develop the qualification of learning how to use everything in the service of the Lord. So learning how to use everything in the service of the Lord follows seeing everything as the property of the Lord. If we think it's my property, then I might just do what I want with it, or I might give some of it to Krishna. I earned it, I worked hard for it. Somehow or other I accumulated it. But that is an illusion, because Krishna says, Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. All these three worlds, I am the controller, I am Bhokta, I'm the enjoyer, but I'm also your best friend. So to become, what we say, connected to Krishna as the friend of Krishna, in the sense that he is our well-wisher in all sense, then we have to understand our relationship with the material energy and our relationship with Krishna. Material energy is the product of Krishna's external energy. It's called Bahiranga Shakti. And so it's a Shakti, it's an energy of the Lord, but it's an energy that keeps moving and keeps changing. The Antaranga Shakti is that energy which is permanent, and that's the spiritual energy. And the Tatastha Shakti is the living entities, us, in the material world who are spiritual, but covered by the Bahiranga Shakti, or the material energy. So here we can see, I mean, Maharaj Pariksit, think about him. He didn't just give up something, he gave up palace, a qualified wife, children, a treasury, ministers, complete sovereignty over the entire earth. And he had so many other amenities that was under his care and control. And it was like when he learned that he was going to die in 7 days, we might compare it as like when you go into the toilet room and you take care of your business, you walk out and you forget about it. You don't think about it anymore. It's done. So he gave up everything like people who go and take care of nature. He just, okay, Krishna's wants me to end my existence on this. Now I can perfect my life in devotional service. So all these things that I have, they belong to him anyway. So I'm just giving it back to him. So we have to learn that art of detaching ourselves from the things that we are in control of, or apparently in control of, and see it as the property of Krishna. It's not my wife or my husband, it's Krishna's part and parcel who has come and played the part of my husband and my wife. In other words, it'll be over in due course of time, but Krishna has given me these situations in order for me to live according to proper behavior in the material world. But I know it belongs to him. Everything belongs to him. Manaso deho geho yo get you more arpilun to alpade Nanda Kishore. Bhakti Vinod Thakur makes the sweeping statement, it's all yours, even my body, that's yours too. So let me use it in your service. This is perfection and this is happiness. What causes the living entity to be unhappy is to claim the idea that this is mine and this is I. This majanasamoham yamaham ameti, this illusion causes one to suffer in this world. Because if you think something is mine, when you lose it, you feel unhappy. Or when you don't get something you want, you also feel unhappy. Or if you get something you want and it stays with you for some time, you can't really enjoy it because soon it'll be gone. The devotee's happy. Krishna gives prasadam. Krishna gives opportunities for so much service. We can chant, we can dance, we can eat prasadam, we can read nice books about philosophy and discuss our relationship with Krishna in the spiritual world. We can learn so much about what is way beyond this material tabernacle. Everything is there in these books that Srila Prabhupada has given us, the eternal scriptures. Srimad Bhagavatam Chaitanya Charitamrita, the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so nicely delineated with great philosophical expressions of knowledge that go way beyond anything that people can possibly conceive of. So all of this is the happiness that devotees, we don't look for happiness in things. Things, yeah, we have things, we use things, and we take care of things. But we realize they actually belong to Krishna, and it has a purpose in our life. We'll use them as long as we have them, and we can also offer to whatever is there in the service of the Lord. We give our money to the service of the Lord. We give our time to the service of the Lord. We give our physical and mental energies to the service of the Lord. We give our abilities in the service of the Lord. So we're happy. Why? Because we're using the things in the right way. And therefore, those things are bringing us satisfaction. People are trying to enjoy the things of this material world, and they're not enjoying. They're suffering. They're struggling, and they're thinking, "I just need something different, something more. Maybe it'll get better." But it doesn't get better. They just keep going in this same wrong direction. But a devotee, he's happy. All right. It's cold out, so I put a coat on. It's hot out, so I open up the windows, turn on the fan. So a devotee somehow lives in this material world without any anxiety because they don't want. They know this place is temporary, and they know everything in it is also temporary. But what it has a value is devotional service. And what is the most valuable thing in devotional service is sadhu sangha, the association of other devotees. That gives pleasure, happiness, satisfaction, and it helps us to develop our love for Krishna and for each other. And that is more than any material amenity can possibly give. So Maharaj Pariksit, he's kind of like, he could have said, no, this Shringi, he cursed me unfairly. I didn't do anything worth being cursed to die. Maybe I should have been punished a little bit, but not death sentence. He didn't do that. He said, oh, here's an opportunity. I can sit down on the banks of the holy river and meditate on the Supreme Lord and leave the body in pure devotional service. That was his plan, but the Lord made it even better for him. He sent Sri Sukadev Goswami to enlighten him in the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam. And after 7 days, you'll read about it in the 12th canto, he's completely free. Maharaj Sukadev Goswami says to him, Maharaj, anything else? He says, no, now I'm ready to meet my destiny. He was ready to. So he wasn't at all fearful. In fact, he was contemplating that soon I'll be in the spiritual world with the Lord. So everything is wonderful as long as we keep connected with Krishna in devotional service. When we try to take the things that Krishna give us and try to enjoy separately from Krishna, we created an artificial type of consciousness which causes us to struggle unnecessarily. And then we also come in competition with others who are doing the same thing. Because the material world is based on envy. If someone has more than you, if someone is better than you in what you like to do, a person becomes unhappy and some feels malice or even hatred towards others because of that. So the devotee says, yeah, Krishna gives some people a lot and some materially and some people a little. Kolavetra Sridhar, he had nothing. And the Lord wanted to give him everything. He said, my dear Lord, why you want to make my life difficult? I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy simply by selling banana leaves and banana cups to you every day and chanting Hare Krishna. What do I need? What do I need all this other stuff for? So the point is happiness. If you're happy and you have so much, is one thing. But if you're not happy and you have twice as much, then what's better? So people have so much, but they don't have any happiness, or hardly any. A devotee can be happy in any situation, whether they are a crorepati or if they are, a Daridra Narayan. Not Daridra Narayan, but just Daridra. Poor. So the devotee doesn't worry. When we look around the room, we see all of the stuff that we have accumulated. Sometimes we think, how am I going to use all of this stuff anyway? So sometimes it's good to give away stuff to people who could possibly use it in Krishna consciousness. Yeah, the material world is just bombarding people with things. You can't love things. You can use things, but you can't love things. You can only love another living being. And that is Krishna or Krishna's devotees. The devotees are happy in any situation. Why? Because they're connected with Krishna. They can go to the temple and see Krishna's beautiful form. They can get together as a group and sing the glories of the Lord and find happiness. And then they have some nice prasadam and everything is satisfied. They go to sleep that night and they sleep very peacefully. For the non-devotees, they can't even sleep. There's so many problems with sleep now. People's minds are so racing throughout the day that when their bodies are tired, but when they lay down, their minds are still active. They can't even sleep anymore. They have to take sleeping pills, and sometimes those don't work. The material life is simply one form of struggle, suffering after another. That's all. And as we become detached and use everything in the service of the Lord, then we actually feel happy because we understand it's the Lord that's important and not the objects that we so-called possess. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Such a wonderful class session. You mentioned about. I'll
Go
just
back to
quickly.
go back to the gallery now. Stop
Yes.
sharing.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
So thank you, Maharaj. So you shared some really nice points. You mentioned how the material world is like a shadow reflection, and you mentioned how what real renunciation is. So basically, renunciation means actually seeing everything as the property of the Lord. And you gave the example of in the Bhagavad Gita that Krishna says everything should be offered to the Lord. We should give everything back to him and use everything in his service. And one way of doing that is hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. It actually takes many lifetimes to hear the Bhagavatam, but actually, we even if we just hear it to some degree, then it can help us with putting everything in the service of the Lord. And you mentioned how there's three types of energies, the Bahiranga Shaktis, which is a temporary, the Antaranga Shakti, and then the Tataksha Shakti. And how Parikshit Maharaj was able to give up everything. And he had the art of detachment. Sometimes we think of things in the perspective of illusion, as in I and mine. But the right way of doing things is knowing that everything is temporary and putting everything in connection with the Lord. So you said the association of devotees is the most important, seeing the opportunities and how Parikshit Maharaj managed to see the opportunity in that difficulty. So instead of, canceling the curse, he actually saw it as an opportunity for him to go deeper. So I guess, Maharaj, I'll start with a question then. You make it sound really easy giving up the material world and seeing how you do it. It sounds really simple, but in reality, it's quite difficult to give up attachments, to give up the material connections that we have. So how do you do it? How can you make it? Obviously, Krishna consciousness is enjoyable, and when we're there, it's all nice. But when we're not in that environment, it's quite hard to practice and it's quite hard to maintain. So, how would you recommend making it so easy? Because it sounds easy, but it's
Well,
not.
attachment and detachment go together. The more you're attached to the Lord, the more you can become free from the attachment of the things in this material world. It becomes almost natural as one starts to awaken their relationship with Krishna in devotion. As it says, you can't give up the lower taste unless you get the higher taste. So we have to go for the higher taste. The higher taste is Krishna consciousness. And that higher taste comes from hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, associating with and serving the Vaishnavas. And of course, the activities of devotional service, reading and discussing, all of these. You'll see devotees don't do much difference than the non-devotees. The only two things is one, they focus everything in around Krishna, and they are not so much interested in enjoying the material world. The karmis, we do the same thing. They sing and dance, we sing and dance, we eat, they associate with their groups also. They also perform activities similar to, we also perform similar activities. But the motivation is different. One is motivated by personal sense gratification. The other one is motivated by devotion to Krishna.
So Maharaj, even though we want to try that, and maybe there's some percentage of us, there's some of our life that is geared towards that direction. Okay, we're giving, let's say we attend the temple on weekends, or we have our sadhana, but then the rest of the time we often get sucked up into the material energy, the material world. How do you
Well,
get to?
if you're forgetful, then you're getting, caught up. You have to understand that you have to be in knowledge of your situation and your relationship with the material energy. It's called sambandha. What is my relationship with the material energy? If you don't know that, then you think it's for your enjoyment, or you think you're the center of the activities you perform. So sadhana is the foundation by which we gain this understanding. So keep good sadhana, and then when you're going about your activities, you are still somewhat connected to the principles of detachment from material energy, like that. Okay, we should go on to the questionnaires. There's
Yeah.
a few people.
Srimati, you'd like to unread it?
That's Sri Devi.
Oh, sorry, Sri Devi.
Thank you. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Very deep, very thought-provoking, and very sobering class today. Our attachments are very deep because we have spent many, many lifetimes in this material world, especially when it comes to money. We don't like to part with money so easily. I'm speaking of myself. So now, not having had much money all my life, suddenly, if I got an inheritance of a large sum of money, I wouldn't know what to do with it, having always been, scrimping and saving and like that, very simple lifestyle. So, how can I use whatever has come in Krishna's service without letting it boggle my mind?
You mean the money?
Yeah.
Okay, we just give it to me. I'll use it. Don't worry.
Wonderful. You've taken a big weight off my shoulders. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
We have many projects around the world that require funds. You can also investigate and see which one touches your heart and also offer something. I don't want to sound my own horn, but today someone came from the national school nearby, which is just outside the gate, and of course, I had a promise that I would give something, so they came and I gave a donation to sponsor one of the children for the whole year. So, these are little things. You can sponsor children, you can sponsor the Sunday feast, you can see, just like in the Ukraine, They're struggling really hard to maintain themselves during that war. Much money is needed to buy food, to ship in, to get generators so they can have heat through the winter. So there's so many projects that are going on that you can, see which one inspires you and give something. You don't have to give it to me. You can do it directly. But if you can't do it, just give it to me and I'll do it for you.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Shilpesh.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to these wonderful devotees. Guru Maharaj, like, we're all endeavoring for this higher taste in Krishna consciousness. But sometimes it's just like, no matter what you do, something comes along, like a problem with a body or maybe some other material problem. It's like a spanner in the works. So how do we deal with things when that happens? Even though we're trying so hard to endeavor.
Well, welcome to the material world. You can expect things to go wrong. This is the way this world works. There's birth, death, disease, old age, miseries of the body and mind, miseries of other living entities, miseries of higher powers, miseries of Zoom hosts. There's so many miseries. That was just a joke, don't worry. So many miseries you can experience throughout life. What can you do? But devotees are prepared because they're not trying to gain anything. They're simply trying to become Krishna conscious. So they accept these miseries as opportunities to become more Krishna conscious, to become more detached, to gain some knowledge, to increase our love for Krishna. Obstacles are opportunities. But if you see the obstacle as an obstacle, it'll be what it is, an obstacle.
Is it like when we get the obstacle, it's like Krishna saying, call out for me, cry out for me, rather than like, oh my God, I'm hurting?
Well, if you can deal with it, yeah, but sometimes it becomes too overwhelming or confusing. So we say, my dear Lord, you put me into this situation. How can I become more Krishna conscious? What can I learn from this? How can I overcome this difficulty and go on with my Krishna consciousness?
Is Krishna trying to make us surrender though sometimes for those
Every moment, every second, even every millisecond. But we just surrender when we do something spiritual. We think, well, I'm surrendered, but it's not like that. Surrender is a state of consciousness. It's not a act that you perform. It's a state of consciousness. When you surrender, all the acts that you perform fall into the same category. But if you're not surrendered, at least in mind, then all of the activities, can be causes of bondage. That's why Bhakti Siddhanta really clarifies it. He says, surrender is a moment-to-moment affair. I'm Krishna's servant in all situations, not in only some of them. I mean, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's difficult, and sometimes it's impossible. But in any case, be in the mood of, taking shelter of Krishna, as you said, crying out for Krishna. That's a way to take shelter.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Don't always use your intelligence to deal with things. Use your intelligence to understand from Krishna how to deal with things.
How do we do that?
My dear Lord, this is the situation. What should I do?
I reach out to my mentor as well when I'm kind of confused and ask for her advice.
Yeah, the mentor is the representative.
Okay.
Maharaj, I think Vrindavan Nath has a question about Bhishma Panchak. He's asking if you can ask that question.
Okay. Is it in the chat?
The question's not in the chat. I think he's. Would you like to unmute or write a question?
So, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, my question is, thank you first of all for allowing this question. It's like we are celebrating Bhishma Panchak, and I'm a bit confused with the dates. Of course, dates in Krishna time might be a bit different from our calendar, but we celebrate Gita Jayanti in December. We celebrate Bhishma Panchak now, and Bhishma Pitama left actually in Uttarayan, which is in January and February. Bhishma Dev left his body in Uttarayan Nakshatra, which is actually end of January and February. So these dates does not align. So I'm a bit confused.
No, he left his body on what was that? What is that?
Makar Sankranti.
Yeah,
Makar Sankranti.
Mahara Sankranti.
Yeah.
That's usually January 14th or 15th, right?
Yeah.
It's either one of those 2 days, Makara Sankranti.
Yeah. But we
No.
celebrate Bhishma Panchak, Guru Maharaj, here. Like many times they say that Bhishma, in these last 5 days, he took this vow, and then that's why we celebrate Bhishma Panchak.
Yeah, but celebrating Bhishma is not a requirement. You can do that. It's a nice austerity. Some austerities are required, others are optional. So last 5 days of Kartik, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Why? So the question is, why is it at that time?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Yeah.
I heard some argument or discussion on this same topic last year, but due to Kali Yuga, I forgot. So I don't. Maybe Raj can fill in with that one, or Sridevi, either one, maybe. Anybody know why it's performed in this particular time period?
I remember being in a class where Bhakti Charu Swami was asked the same question, and he also said that he didn't know, like why the dates were in this way. I get one person that comes to mind would be Sri Radharaman. He's kind of good with these kind of dates and calendar, so we could ask him. But
Or you can ask Kartik Chandra.
yeah, he's good as well.
Yeah, Vrindavan Nath, you're right there in the same country. Just dial up Kartik Chandra. He knows everything. He knows things that even Krishna is still trying to figure out. The guy knows everything. Questions that I couldn't find answers to, I just go to him and everything's solved.
Incarnation of Uddhava.
Huh?
Incarnation of Uddhava.
Yeah, he's like that.
Sure, Guru Maharaj, I will ask.
Yeah, you're right there. You can just give him send him a message or send him an email. He's good. He'll give you an answer. I know he will. He won't say, I don't know. That's for sure.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hey,
So, what's next, Mirage? Are we taking more questions, or are we doing chanting, or are we
well, if there's
live?
no more questions, do you have anything you would like to add to it? The Zoom host is supposed to fill in when there's a
Yeah,
little bit low here.
I'll fill in. I know
Well,
Raj.
you got a question now.
Okay.
There's one from Krishna Kaviraj there.
Thank you. Please, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you, Maharaj. All glories to all of the Vaishnavas. Guru Maharaj, you were discussing problems and suggest solutions of how to deal with difficulties and challenges. Sometimes we get all sorts of challenges. We get challenges in sadhana, challenges in service, challenges in life. And if it's something related to sadhana or service, then I tend to just try and pick up determination and get through it. And that may involve prayer, that may involve asking for help, or that may just mean like just try and focus more. And most of the time, solutions will come in some shape or form quite mysteriously. But sometimes I feel I'm doing this, but I don't know if I'm doing it the correct way. And so I was just wanted to ask if you have any guidelines on the best way to deal with challenges that come along.
First, you have to understand the situation. I guess the first question is why? Why has this come? And then once you get the you might say you don't even know why, but it's just come. You can ask Krishna, why is this situation being placed upon me? And if you can use your intelligence to see the situation and can refer to how that situation is similar to something else that happened in the past, and what was the solution that was applied. Because there's an old saying, and it's very fundamental, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything that's happened has happened. It's just a repeat. The only thing that's new is Krishna consciousness. Everything in the material world is simply a repeat of the same thing in different forms with different names, different persons, different situations. Nothing new in the material world. And so reference a success that was applied to a similar situation and see if that will also be something that you can use. When you get challenged, like immediately, where you have to respond to something immediately, then you have to just immediately take shelter of Krishna and act. Don't forget Krishna in any situation. That's the main thing.
Right. It's when you're really provoked, like when you're in a really intense situation, it's often even if you're doing service for Krishna, it's even often you can forget Krishna. So how do we really like always remember him? I know you're saying it, and it's okay, we should remember him, maybe it's a process, but sometimes when you're really provoked and your mind doesn't always, that's not your default, like think of Krishna, surrender to him, or see the opportunity in that situation. Because these things can happen in like flashes.
Right.
So how do you build that up?
Well, if you're engaged in devotional service, that is good as thinking of Krishna. The service is none different than Krishna. But if it's something outside of devotional service, then you might find yourself in an awkward situation. But if you engage in devotional service, then you're also going to get the mercy of the Lord when you're faced with situations. So, therefore, we recommend and always stay engaged in devotional service. And of course, the all encompassing principle is to always remember Krishna, don't forget him. But if you're doing day-to-day services, say you're working at your job and you get one of your clients is not happy with the prescription you gave her, and she's gonna call the Better Business Bureau and have you thrown in jail. So then you have to think, well, Krishna, you put me in this situation. Let me see. What can I do? And sometimes you have to take the results of your activities in a way that you may not want to, but that happens. So there's no what we say. If you're looking for a one word or a one line answer, it's that just stay connected with Krishna, and then obstacles become opportunities, and devotional service will bring you closer and closer to Krishna. Always remember Krishna is the ultimate principle, is bhakti. That's mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. What's that? Do you know that verse? Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter, I think it's Madhya Lila, chapter 13, verse 112, is it? Let me see. Is that the one, Sri Devi?
I think it's chapter 17, verse 112, Guru Maharaj.
Chapter 17, verse 112.
I think.
Okay. All right. Let me just escape for a second here. I can give it to you, the exact thing. Let's see. Getting closer here. Yeah, okay. It's Smartava Satatam Vishnu. Vishnu Smarta Najatu Shit Sarve Vidya Niseda Sure. Etayor Eva Kinkara, huh? Let me see. I don't know if I have a reference. This verse is from the Padma Purana. Yeah, it's mentioned in. So look up Smartavya. Can you do that?
I'm sorry, Guru Maharaj. It is Madhya Leela 22,113.
Okay, 22,113. Thank you. So go to that verse. Mhm. Okay, and read it. Somebody want to read?
Krishna is the origin of Lord Vishnu. He should always be remembered and never be forgotten at any time. All the rules and prohibitions mentioned in the Shastras should be the servants of these two principles.
So it goes on to say, these regulative principles should act as servants of the basic principle. That is, one should always remember Krishna and never forget him. And Prabhupada says, whatever one is doing, if he's doing it for Krishna, that is also remembering Krishna. So the Prabhupada then says, the conclusion is that one must act in such a way that he will always remember Krishna, and one must refrain from doing things that make him forget Krishna. These two principles form the basic background of Krishna consciousness. So do things that help you remember Krishna and downsize and eliminate things that make you forget Krishna. But when we speak like that, everybody thinks, oh, it's not, I can't do that. How can I remember Krishna always? Practice. Practice.
There's a few questions, Maharaj. Manish has asked a question on the chat first, and her question is, how can we please Krishna in every moment?
By the desire to please Krishna. If you have a desire to please Krishna, then whatever you do will be offered in that way. We're singing kirtan, we're chanting Krishna's holy name. We're not trying to enjoy the holy name, we're trying to offer the holy name to Krishna. It's his name and he's offering it to us and we're offering it back to him with the element of devotion to him. That is bhakti, that pleases Krishna. Whatever you eat, offer to Krishna in devotion, accept it as his mercy, that's pleasing to Krishna. So I quoted that verse from the Bhagavad Gita, 9:27. Krishna says, whatever you do it for me.
We have Srimati Mataji wants to ask a question.
Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj, my humble obeisances to you all. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, I have a realizations to share. So when you were talking about with Silpesh Prabhu, like get intelligence from Krishna, previously 2-3 days back, I had a situation and I was thinking negatively about that situation. And then I went to my DT room and I talked with my DTs. I just told this situation to my DTs. And immediately after a few hours, suddenly my perspective changed. And I was thinking positively and totally the situation changed. And it was like a miracle happened with me. Yeah, definitely Krishna gave me intelligence to see the situation positively instead of thinking always it in a negative way. So yes, Maharaj, I just felt to share to all of you.
Thank you. That's perfect. That's what we need when devotees actually act according to the knowledge given and the results come. If we theorize and just act the way we normally do, we can't understand the actual principle of success. But your example is ideal, perfect.
Thank you, Maharaj. Yeah, when Senior Prabhuji told me, like, talk to your deities always. They are listening to you. They know the situations around you. And when you talk to them, you'll get the solutions. I didn't use them practically much, but somehow on that day I inspired and it got inspired. And I did that. It worked. Yeah, Krishna saved me.
Keep doing it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Say,
Guru.
my dear Lord, give me some more problems so I can talk to you.
Guru Maharaj, already there are so many situations around. No need to ask, Guru Maharaj.
My dear Lord, I never talk to you until these things come up, so I need some more so I can talk to you more.
Yes.
Yeah, Krishna. You know, he's very kind to his devotee. We don't realize that, but we don't take advantage of his kindness. Therefore, we can't understand how kind he is, you know.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you.
Thank you, Shirati. Sakshi Mataji, would you like to?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna to all the dear devotees. I have a similar question regarding what Srimati Mataji asked, but I have a doubt. You mentioned, Maharaj, during difficult times, we should ask Krishna whatever situation we are in, we should ask Krishna to help us come out of this situation and thing like that. But then I was reading Srila Prabhupada's book, and Prabhupada said, until and unless we are purified, Krishna won't give us direct directions and guidance. So we need to take help of his representatives. So yeah, in regards to that, I was a little confused. Can you please help me out?
Krishna, yeah, well, Prabhupada's saying that you may not understand what Krishna's saying to you because you're not purified enough. Therefore, you should go to the spiritual master. But in some cases, when the spiritual master is not available or the situation is, you can always pray to Krishna, you can always take shelter of Krishna.
Thank you. Amrita Nam.
Thank you, Guru. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So Srimati mentioned it very well, and on that context, I wanted to ask, when it's material situation, I think, as Bhagavad Gita 2.14 says, that problems are like seasons, like summer and winter. So I usually think that when it's getting really difficult and out of my my controls, I think that, okay, as it has come, the same way it will go. It's just a matter of time. But then when it comes to transcendental relationships, like relationship with devotees, or dealing something in the amongst devotees or with guru, so at that time, if there is some head-to-head situation, that time, as she mentioned, we should take the shelter of prayers, isn't it, Guru Maharaj?
Yeah. Chant the holy names, take shelter of prayer. My dear Lord, I'm so foolish. I can't do anything. Now I'm in this situation. Please give me your shelter.
So Kumar, my realization is basically when it happens, we should go to the humbler situation, a humbler state, because it whatever might have happened, it comes out of the false ego from us.
Yeah, always be humble anyway. Because if you're not humble, you can't receive mercy. You may not be able to perceive the mercy that is being given because of your false ego, because the false ego blocks many times. Sometimes when we pray to Krishna, we're expecting a particular type of solution that will come by prayer. But that's another sense of trying to control the situation.
Maharaj,
Thank you. Thank you.
One Bilva Mangala Thakur prays, "My dear Lord, with your mercy, what is the use of others' mercy? And my dear Lord, without your mercy, what is the use of others' mercy?" He only wants the mercy of the mercy giver.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Prabhupada used to say, the people in the Boweries, they drink wine. And so when they finish one bottle, even before they finish, they're always thinking of the next bottle. They're so addicted. And they just go from bottle to bottle. But I said, Prabhupada said, a devotee's like that. He's always thinking of Krishna in every situation. Situations change, but his connection with Krishna stays the same.
Too much on this note, when we think that we want to please Krishna at every moment, or we want to surrender to Krishna at every moment. So we, for lifetimes, we have forgotten Krishna. So and the nearest association with Krishna we can do is with our Guru. So when we think of pleasing our Guru, then it directly relates to pleasing Krishna.
Yeah. The Guru is the representative of Krishna. So if you're pleasing the spiritual master, it automatically goes to Krishna because he offers whatever you offer to him to Krishna. Yeah. In fact, we can't please Krishna directly, but we can please Krishna through the instructions given to us by the spiritual master.
Thank you very much. Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for your question. So yeah, I guess Maharaj, you were saying like the envy is probably like the thing that is the reason why we're here, or the material world exists, and disagreements with devotees is like one of the real problems, like because I guess a lot of people leave the movement because of disagreements with devotees, or so even if all of these things you try, like chanting, dancing, singing, you still have to associate with devotees and get on with everyone. But then when you have clashes, you end up, leaving or being discouraged, and everybody's going through that process of purifying themselves. So not everybody's at that level, management and stuff. So it's quite difficult. difficult
Yeah.
process to see.
Therefore, Lord Chaitanya said, a devotee practices Krishna consciousness by Trinadapi Sunichena Ayori Vasa Hishnuna Mani Nama Manadena Kirtaniya Sadarahi. That there won't be any, if you're humble, you generally won't find too much difficulties with others. But even if you are humble, there may be situations, and you have to learn how to tolerate. That's all. Devotees are not confrontational. But if there's a difference in philosophy, then there is always discussion to come. But if one person wants to serve in this way, another person wants to serve in this way, and they're arguing which one is better, then that is not pleasing to Krishna, because cooperation is more important than what service you perform or how you perform the service. But when it comes to philosophy, then if somebody's off and is preaching off or speaking differently than what is given in the Shastras, and sometimes we have to correct or say something. Like just for instance, we know that cell phones and japa don't go together. So I'm here in Mayapur, and sometimes I chant with many devotees, and you see people pulling out their cell phones during the japa time. So I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't be here, because it's disturbing for me to see somebody using their cell phone during japa. So once in a while I'll say something. And then the devotee is always humble and says, oh, okay, puts their cell phone away. But then if I keep watching people and see if they got their cell phones on, I can't concentrate on my japa. So you find yourself in these situations sometimes.
Maharaj, it's hard, the cell phone, made it in such a way that it's purposely addictive. So
Yeah.
everyone's going through that problem.
Yeah, people are very much overusing their cell phones. I mean, one who knows a cell phone can do all kinds of things with the cell phone and amuse themselves all day with it. But I don't know anything about a cell phone. I turn it on to see what messages I get, respond to the messages, and then shut it off. And if it rings, then okay, that's fine. But I don't go anywhere else. So cell phones are meant to communicate when the need is there. That's all. Not as an entertainment device. But it's become one like that. It's entertainment, it's absorbing. It's also bad for the health.
It's quite worrying, Maharaj. Kids nowadays, they're just completely addicted to cell phones. They can't spend a moment without it. So
Yeah. I met one man when I was preaching in Northeastern University in Boston. We were talking about the hazards of cell phones. After the class, one young man came up to me, was in total distress. He was Indian. Most of the class were students from India. And he was in distress. He said, Swamiji, if I'm without my cell phone for 6 minutes, this is the exact what he said, I go crazy. And I said, I didn't know what to say, except don't go crazy, you know. Realize it's something you lived without before you had it, and so you can live without even after you get it.
Marge, would you like to chant or would you like to finish there? I don't know what the timings are.
Well, right now we do Damodar Astika in the temple, so that's going to start in a few minutes.
Mhm,
So I should go. I usually go every night for Damodar.
mhm.
So yeah, but if the devotees can get together, maybe Srimati can help and she can organize a japa session. There's also nice photos of the holy name along with pictures of the deities that one can meditate on while they're chanting. Thank you, Raj, for
Yeah.
coming on, and your debut was very pleasing. Thank you for taking on the service.
Thank you for giving me the service, Miraj, and forgive me for any errors or mistakes but it's nice to see you and to be here.
Yeah, good. Well, of course, we always say that, as many times as you want, we can facilitate. So we're always short of Zoom hosts.
Yes, Miraj, happy to serve.
Okay, thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Srila
you.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Vivo, vivo.
So much.
Guru Maharaj, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Guru Maharaj. Thank you. Hare Krishna.